Uy! Wonders! It's Kakal. I've been lost before. And I'm sure kayo din. Most of us, if not all of us, have gotten lost. Hindi ko matandaan kung paano nangyari, pero I vaguely remember na naligaw ako sa isang department store. I remember not panicking kasi natatandaan ko yung sinabi sa akin ng mom ko before. Magpasama ka sa security guard, then magpadala ka sa customer service counter. Sabihin mo nawawala ka, then sabihin mo yung pangalan ko. Ginawa ko naman lahat yon and it worked out pretty well. Nakita ko ng mom ko, and yun, happily ever after. So far. Fast forward sa time na nag-aaral na ako ng college, lumipat ng building yung school na inattendan ko. Mga 1.14 kilometers lang naman yung diferensya. Kaya naman lakarin, walking distance. Pero still, ang ganda na nung first location namin. Malapit sa mga mall, so ang daming kainan. Malapit sa Ayala Triangle, so madaming kainan. May mga convenience stores sa likod, so mga kainan. And may parking lot sa likod na may kainan. Importante talaga ang kainan sa college life, guys. Anyway, dahil new location, kailangan ko ulit maghanap ng bus stop mula doon pa uwi. And that's when a friend told me na meron ngang actually bus stop na malapit kung saan meron may mga bus pwedeng diretso pa uwi sa amin. Of course, tuwa naman ako. Binigyan niya ako ng directions. Then, later that day, sinubukan ko lakarin to figure it out on my own kung saan ba talaga yung bus stop na yun. I thought carry ko naman. I thought wrong. Ang tagal ko nang naglalakad and hindi ko pa rin nakikita yung fabled bus station na yun. Wala nang familiar places, wala nang familiar faces. Medyo kinakabahan ako nun, guys. Hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko except maybe to just keep walking. And yun nga yung ginawa ko until may nakita akong parang familiar signage. And after that, just a little bit more walking, back on track na ulit ako, pauwi. Anyway, what could have been a 1 kilometer of impatient walking became a 2.5 kilometers of terror and lostness sa isang concrete jungle in a wilderness. We can get lost in a lot of ways. I mean, hindi mo kailangan maging nasa isang disyerto o gubat o sa gitna ng dagat or a middle of nowhere para masabi mong nasa wilderness ka. For example, si Tarzan. Sa tingin niyo ba he's lost sa isang gubat? Hindi, di ba? Yung gubat ay yung comfort zone niya. Actually, maybe it's safe to say na kung nasa syudad siya, he'd feel like he's in a wilderness, di ba? And even if he knew basic English, I mean, may hirapan pa rin siya makipag-communicate. He'd be lost in translation. Lost in Translation is also a 2003 film about being lost. Pero hindi lang to about hindi ka magkaintindihan or languages and stuff. Pero also about being lost in life. Yung focus ng movie ay yung two separate life stories ng two main characters who come from two different walks of life. Yung isa, si Bob, matanda na and he's in a strained marriage and yung fame niya from being a movie star nag-wane na. Si Charlotte, bata-bata pa, fresh graduate, newlywed, okay, masaya ng buhay. Pero parehas silang lost in more ways than one. Metaphorically, literally, figuratively, getting lost in language barriers, feeling lost in their relationships, and feeling alone in their separate hotel rooms. Na-feel lang nila yung comfort when they met each other and they found comfort in each other's life stories. From the film, you can see that ang daming ways para maligaw sa buhay. Pero usually, it has less to do with physical location and more to do with experience. An experience kung saan wala kang katulong, wala kang kakilala, walang service, walang signal, walang control. As human beings, we love control. And if hindi ka controlling, we love being in control. I mean, we have dreams. And we make plans around those dreams. And we make schedules around those plans. Ayaw natin na may unexpected things na nangyayari to ruin the schedule, ruin the plan. Except maybe the occasional surprise birthday party. More often than not, the unexpected is horrible. It messes us up, it catches us off guard, and it ruins our precious plans. And I think nothing best describes a wilderness disrupting plans like the past couple of years. The pandemic. Umpisa ng 2020, I decided that I would make it a year of self-exploration. After months of feeling dead and not really enjoying anything, I enjoyed one thing. A storytelling workshop na hinold ng kids church ministry namin. And so I thought, maybe I could try acting and theater. Pero, the pandemic happened. Nagulo yung plans ko and nagdalawang isip ako kung okay ba talaga yung mga balak ko. And I'm sure kayo din with your plans na disrupt. This pandemic has affected all of us in one way or another. Parang super chaotic na ng buhay. Pero hindi ba ganun talaga? Life is chaotic, full of the unexpected, mapabuti man o mapasama. Kumbaga, life has always been a wilderness. I guess mas napapansin lang natin ngayon kasi pandemic, tapos stuck tayo lahat sa mga bahay natin. And yung mga kasama natin, kung hindi yung pamilya natin, social media. But, we push on. We keep going. Bakit? Naitanong mo na ba sa sarili mo yan? Why do we keep going? During this pandemic, may mga nakita din ako mga good news. Mga kinasal, mga nagkaroon ng mga anak, mga breakthroughs, panibagong trabaho. Life kept going. Why do we keep going? Let's talk about a group of people who have gone on an adventure and they kept going for a really long time. One book that I really like to read is the Bible. It's a major piece of Christian literature that has influenced humanity and inspired movements in both positive and negative ways. Baka familiar sa'yo. Ganda siya, try mo minsan. In one of its stories, sa Book of Numbers, there's a nation na tinatawag na Israel, also called God's people. At this point in the story, kaka-rescue lang ni God sa kanila from their slavery in Egypt. Wala silang lupain and nasa gitna sila ng wilderness. At the same time, wala silang idea what comes next. But God had plans for them. May promise siya sa ancestors nila. Isang lugar na napakaganda para sa kanila sa kabila ng wilderness na to. A promised land, if you will. And sabi ni God, ililid niya sila papunta doon through a journey that should take 2 weeks at most. So, ayos, diba? What have they got to lose? Unfortunately, after a series of unfortunate events, dahil sa disobedience ng Israelites, yung 2-week journey nila naging 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. But God did not leave them. Pinagpatuloy pa rin niya yung paglilid sa kanila. And kahit na pagala-gala sila sa desierto and paulit-ulit sila nagpa-fail, God still provided for them and did miracles for them. God remained faithful. Sabi nga daw, maski daw yung pananamit nila hindi nasira and yung mga paa nila never namaga sa kakalakad. In reality, nag-thrive pa sila. This was a journey they had to go through, hand in hand with God, para mas maging prepared sila para sa promised land na pupuntahan nila. We can only imagine what they fully experienced in those 40 years. Pero I'm sure they looked to God and they believed dun sa promise of rest niya para sa kanila in order to keep moving forward. I don't know about you, pero yung mga questions na ganun, what keeps you going, para saan, para kanino ka bumabangon, what are your plans today, what are your dreams, what is your promised land? Yung mga questions na yun, they help me feel grounded whenever I feel lost. And to answer those questions, para sa akin, una sa lahat, living for God. Getting to know Him, enjoying Him, loving Him, and being loved by Him. Exploring kung saan man niya ako dalhin. Kahit na napaka-rebelde ko talaga minsan. Well, hindi minsan, madalas. Thank you na lang talaga kay Lord at mapagpasensya siya. And for me, exploring God means exploring life. To see as much of life as I can and kung ano man yung ilagay niya sa mga kamay ko. Games? Good. Connecting with people? Good. Food? Good. At ang dami pa, sobrang dami pang good sa buhay na to. And again, one of those things na in-explore ko is acting and theater. Even though I had doubts, pinagpatuloy ko pa rin. Nagsubok ako. A college professor of mine recommended a workshop And it opened up a shiny new path sa wilderness ko. Natuto ako ng onte about acting and natuto ako ng onte about sa culture of theater. And of course, nakakilala ko ng mga awesome na tao. More importantly, one of those people led me to improv or improvisational theater, which is para sa akin, acting and playing combined. And that's something that I really look forward to every day. And as I kept going with that, nakakilala pa ako ng marami pa mga tao. And some of them changed my life for the better, in little bits. All the while, never ko pa silang nami-meet sa buong buhay ko. Meeting them in real life is one of the things na talagang nilulook forward ko din. What keeps me going? At habang nakakahalubilo ko yung mga creative and confident na mga tao na yun, and being encouraged by them, I picked up this. Making YouTube videos. I never thought I'd make a single YouTube video, much less 3. Sobrang wild lang talaga. You pick up things na you never thought you'd be able to discover or do. Alam niyo yun? Tipong hanggang imagination lang. But here I am. And I'll keep going. As much as I can. Being lost is being in a wilderness. But in the grand scheme of things, yung pagiging lost natin is only a part of one big wilderness journey. Sabi nga ni Dory,
just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
Or sabi sa Meet the Robinsons, dahil every journey has a destination. Di lang kaya siguro maintindihan ng limited na mga utak natin, pero may patutunguhan tayo, friends. I mean, habang nasa wilderness tayo, we gain experience. We experience gain. We experience loss. We feel, we learn, we grow. We build connections. We build relationships. We celebrate little wins. We learn, we grow from defeat. We pick things up and we love them and lose them. I'm sure lahat ng to may purpose. Hindi lang para sa wala. Our wilderness journey is preparing us for something. And I, for one, am looking forward sa kung ano ba yung destination ng journey ko. Kaya, I keep swimming. I keep moving forward. Kahit na sobrang hirap lang talaga minsan. At the end of the day, when we look back sa wilderness journey natin, kahit na yung path ay mukhang sabog-sabog or mukhang kalat-kalat, we can only hope na it actually makes sense. Kasi our experience wasn't for nothing. Our journey isn't for nothing. Yung pagkaligaw natin, the wilderness, it has purpose. Our journey leads to meaning. Hanggang sa muli.